Right, we're going to make fermented fish. I'm going to show you firstly the ingredients needed to make fermented fish. Okay, rice. You need about 2 cups of rice. This normal standard rice. Uncle Ben rice is good enough to use. In fact, it's much better. And this rice, what you need to do is to roast it. Put it in a frying pan without any oil and roast it until it's turned brown. So this rice needs to be roasted. Salt, lot of salt, because the first part of fermenting fish is to, after you have washed the fish, you need to cover the fish with oil, a lot of salt, and put it for 24 hours. Some people put it for 2 days if you want, but I normally do it for 24 hours after I put the salt, because for 2 days then the fish will be very salty. Next is the tamarind. We call it Asam Jawa. It's tamarind. You can get it at mostly at Asian specialty store. This is tamarind paste. There are some seeds in here. What we need to do is to dissolve this in water into a very thick paste. Remove the seed and throw it away. We're going to use the paste. And finally, lastly, you need brown sugar. This is gula merah, meaning direct translation would mean red sugar, but it's actually a brown sugar. This is probably from India, made in India. So it's brown sugar. If you cannot find brown sugar, you can use if you cannot find this type of sugar, you can use brown sugar. Probably honey will do, but you need lots of honey. Right. The first part of fermenting fish will be cleaning the fish and salting it. Then what we need to do is to keep the fish overnight in the fridge, and next day we will start to use the rice, tamarind, and the brown sugar. Okay, use scissors and a knife. The knife is for descaling the fish. It's going to be a mess, so normally I have a pail underneath to collect all the dirt, all the guts. Scissor is the best, so because it's very easy to cut open the tilapia with a scissor. You have a lot of guts in there. And this tilapia has been eating some fresh vegetation, so it's not for the faint-hearted, this video, because it's involved cleaning the fish. So once you gut out the fish, there's nothing else, just leave the gills there. Then what we normally do, we just cut off the fins. This part is not edible anyway. It's a slow process. Just do a few, the rest is all the same. This dorsal fin is very spiky, it's very sharp, so it's dangerous. There you go. And it's handy to have a pail underneath. All the guts will go inside the pail. Next is I normally skin tilapia. Sorry, I'm descaling the tilapia. See, this is a small one because that's the right size to make it into a fermented fish. All the scales gone. Right, it's done. Okay. Next. Nobody like to do this job. It's a mess. Okay, it's clean. So somebody got to do it. The neighborhood cats are very anxious. They are climbing around the fence, looking at fresh tilapia. This scissor is very sharp, so occasionally I do cut my hand. I have to be careful. Right. Okay, next step will be to salt the fish. It's best to have some small container where you can contain the fish and the salt. So put it inside a small container. And just mix it with salt. Don't forget the inside part of the fish also need to be salted. Okay. Just sprinkle it with salt. The inside part, in fact everywhere, just coat it with salt. Inside part, outside. Okay. If you can find a container, the bigger container, what you need to just put the fish inside the container. And salt the fish. These fish are reacting to salt. Okay. Just have it salted and keep these fishes in the fridge for roughly 24 hours. Some people keep it for longer than 24 hours, for 2 days. But this will make the fish more salty. I normally keep it for 24 hours in the fridge, not in the freezer, in the fridge. And next day, take it out, wash the fish. Then I will use the brown sugar, the tamarind, and rice to do the second stage of the fermentation process. Right. Okay, let's continue making the Pekasam or fermented fish. And I already rinsed the fish. Yesterday we have I've salted the fish and put it about 24 hours in the fridge. Now I have cleaned the fish. You just rinse with water. You don't need to really clean it thoroughly. You just rinse to get the salt out away from the fish. Rice, I already burned a few, roasted some rice, then I put in a blender and slightly blend it to break it up. Okay, this is rice. Now let's make the tamarind paste with brown sugar. We need about 1 liter of water, tamarind, and brown sugar. This is a bit of a mess, but let's put the tamarind. A big blob. Okay, I think that's enough for now. And put some water. Best to use the hand. And there will be some seed in here. Never mind, you can just make it into a paste. When we mix it with the fish, we just make sure you don't put any seed together with the fish. Okay. Lots of seeds. If you can get a tamarind paste without the seed, it's much better. This one is a lot of seeds. Well, it's not a big problem if you just mix this together with the seed. It would grow anyway. Put brown sugar, a lot of brown sugar, because this is part of the fermentation preservative. Sugar is something like preservative, so it will make sure the fish doesn't become rotten. More water. We need more water. And let's finish off this tamarind. All of them in here. Okay. It's about 1 kilogram of tamarind. It's a mess. Okay. And put more brown sugar. Put it all, doesn't matter. It's if you just overdo the sugar, it just become a bit sweet. But it's not much of a problem. It's either sweet or sour. It's going to be sweet. Okay, we have finished making the tamarind sauce with brown sugar. I leave the seed inside because as we go along, we don't we just separate the seed as we go along. Okay, what we need to do is this tilapia is already salted and placed in the fridge, then we wash. What we need to do is just to lightly coat it with the tamarind sauce, and don't forget the inside part of it. Then after we have coated it, we just take some rice and mix it this way. Coat it with rice, something like a breadcrumb. Then put it in the container and just do the same for all the tilapia. Just coat it with this and the rice. Put it with rice. Okay, and put it in the container. Same thing. Don't worry about rice going into the tamarind sauce because they're going to be mixed together with the fish anyway. See? See? Sometimes what we do, we just mix the fish with the sauce thoroughly, all the fishes, then just one by one dip it in the rice. Okay. Don't worry about seed, no problem. Just dip it in, and sometimes because the rice already inside the tamarind sauce, and just stick to the tilapia. Okay. It's a messy job. It's a mess. Not many people like to do it, but once it's done, it tastes good, and it takes 2 weeks for it to fully fermented. And you don't put this in the fridge. What you do is just store it at room temperature, because the old days nobody have fridge, and this is the reason why they need to do fermented fish. In Malaysia, where I stay, we have a lot of paddy field, and in those paddy field, they have fish in there, because the paddy field will have a lot of water. So normally gourami, the climbing perch, not tilapia, mostly gourami. And during a harvesting season of the paddy, of rice harvesting season, they need to drain water from the paddy field. So while draining the water, there are going to be a lot of fish, small fish like gourami, where they catch. And this is when all these small gourami fish, they turn into fermented fish, either fermented fish or salted fish, because sometimes there will be too many fish and they cannot consume it immediately, so they have to make it into something to preserve it. Okay, there's a lot of rice already inside this. Sprinkle it more. Okay, we got a few more fish left. Right, that's it. That's how you make a traditional Malay traditional fermented fish or Pekasam. This extra tamarind juice, don't throw it away, because what you need to do is just put it together with the fish. think this one is a bit sweet because I've put a bit too more than the required brown sugar. But let's see, only after 2 weeks I can tell. Right, that's how it's made. It's Malay traditional fermented fish. Cover it up tightly, store it in room temperature, and after 2 weeks it's ready. It will be eaten with rice, and just fried it, and it become an appetizer. Okay, bye.